That was at 3:15 this afternoon here in Greeley, Colorado. They've been lined up since last night to get into the Butler Hancock Sports Pavilion for the Big Sky Championship game. Welcome to Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Tonight's matchup, the top two teams in the league. The Montana Grizzlies, the number 2 seed against the top seed and regular season champion, Northern Colorado Bears. Both teams winning here last night as Montana downed Weber State. Northern Colorado held off Northern Arizona to get to this title game here tonight. Along with Miles Simon, I'm Roxy Bernstein. Glad you're with us for this championship game. And Miles, these two teams, one team's used to being in this situation. Montana's been here before, but this is the biggest game in the history of Northern Colorado basketball.
Yeah, for the Montana Grizzlies, they had to go on the road at Weber State, come back from a 20-point deficit to qualify for the Big Dance last year. But for Northern Colorado, a program that's only been Division I since 2003, this is their first time in school history that they have a chance to qualify for the NCAA tournament.
Well, the two best teams in the Big Sky Conference, we have the two best players in this league, Miles.
Absolutely. Brian Qualley, big man for the Montana Grizzlies, can do it on both ends of the floor. He's a skilled big man down low with great touch, but where he specializes on the defensive end, where he's the all-time shot block leader in Big Sky history. And Devin Beitzel, he's the do-it-all guard for UNC. To put it on the floor, drop three-pointers on you, and beat you off the dribble.
The Montana Grizzlies starting lineup, a little bit of a tweak tonight as Sean Stockton, who had been starting, he's the nephew of John Stockton. He is out with a hamstring injury. Jordan Wood takes his place, but Will Cherry, the dynamic point guard, took over the game in the second half last night. He's what makes it go for the Grizz. For Northern Colorado, Beitzel was the league MVP this year. Neil Kingman has the ability to light it up in big games, and he's a key factor for this Northern Colorado team. As the Northern Colorado first-year head coach, B.J. Hill, taking over for Tad Boyle, was an assistant here to Boyle for the last 4 years, and Boyle now the head coach up the road at Colorado, and a nice first season for B.J. Hill. Wayne Tinkle in his 5th year at his alma mater, one of the best players in the history of Montana basketball, and he has his team looking for a second straight Big Sky Tournament championship. It's the way this series went this year, and Miles, each team winning on their respective home floor, but an odd twist to that is each team had their worst offensive performance in the other team's gym.
Yeah, so it's only right that they settle it here for the championship game. Both teams obviously had dominating defensive performances on their home floor, but tonight it's going to be a contrast of styles. Montana really wants to slow it down, get the ball inside to their big fella Qualley, where Northern Colorado wants to speed it up, use their guard attack, and beat you off dribble penetration and get out in transition. Northern
Colorado in the white, the Grizzlies in the maroon. As we're underway, Northern Colorado has the ball first. This is Beitzel up top, wearing number 32. Chris Kaba throws left corner. Kingman, the left-handed three that spins out. And the rebound cleared by Montana and Wood. Cherry matched up with Elliott Lloyd. 7-footer Selvig, a guy who can shoot it from the outside. There's a three on the way and in from Art Stewart, and Montana on the board first.
Well, Selvig at that 4 spot, he's so versatile. He's the second leading assist man on the Grizzlies there. He skipped past, right in rhythm, 3-point jumper.
Kingman into the key. Feeds underneath, Taylor Montgomery goes middle, swatted by Selvig. Controlled though by Northern Colorado. Beitzel drives into the lane, doesn't get the call. Montgomery rips the rebound down to keep it alive for the Bears. 10 to shoot. Kaba missing on a three, and the rebound for Jordan Wood, his second rebound already, and Montana with a good start.
Well, you see Northern Colorado attack the paint twice, but when you're attacking Brian Qualley, he's the all-time shot block leader. You might have to pull up a little bit short.
Qualley from the right block.
Mid-range jumper.
Off the window. 5-zip Montana.
Qualley has excellent touch down low there. He's able to use the glass go over his left shoulder for the little bank.
Just the start that Wayne Tinkle and Montana was looking for here tonight. Foul called against Montana.
Here you got Brian Qualley. Look, he walks his man down all the way to the block area, staying low. Then he ducks in. Nice entry pass by Selvig. Uses his body to shield the defender. Excellent jump hook.
Montana foul was on Selvig. Here's a steal by Will Cherry, who leads the Big Sky in steals this year. Tries to go coast to coast and finishes. 7-zip Montana.
Roxy, how big was Will Cherry in the second half last night in their comeback victory against Weber State, getting to the lane?
He had 14 of his 16 in the game last night in the second half. A steal for the Grizzlies. Tremendous start for Montana.
And right now, Montana, with this 7-0 start, they finished last night's game on a 17-0 run. So they've been on a 24-0 run over 2 nights.
Selvig backs in Kingman. Inside, Qualley keeps it alive. 10 on the timer for Montana.
I don't think Cherry knows the clock. Nobody's talking to him.
Lost the ball, picked up by Lloyd. Here comes Northern Colorado. Leads Cava, goes in and spikes it with the left hand. Hammer time, Chris Cava.
Chris Cava just accelerated when they saw the steal, ran the lane, gets the finish.
That'll get the crowd back into it. They were a bit subdued after 7 straight from Montana to start. Here's Wood starting for the injured Sean Stockton. Hands off to Stewart. Neitzel strips it from Qualley, and they're calling a foul on Qualley for a reach-in.
We'll look at Will Cherry just playing the passing lane. That's a scouting report, something they worked on this morning at their shoot-around. Tough finish. And then Elliott Lloyd with the steal gets his hands involved. Finds his teammate Cava running the lane with the strong finish at the rim.
6'8" senior Cava running the floor. Northern Colorado just 1 of 5 from the field to start this game.
Roxy, can you worry about with Northern Colorado is just nerves. They want to get off to a good start because they've never been in this position before, obviously only being a Division I school since 2003.
Kingman knocked down on a 3, with Selvig lunging at him, and Montana clears. Cherry long pass ahead for the 7-footer Selvig. Nice pass into the key, and Qualley finishes. And there's the 7-footer. What a great passer, Miles.
How about the 2 big men were the first guys down the floor there. Selvig catching the outlet pass, and then Qualley sprinting with the rim run.
Kingman on the drive. Gets the roll. Neil Kingman with the bucket.
Kingman showing some of that great athleticism that he has, getting to his weak hand and finishing over the bigger defenders.
9-4 Montana. Lob for Qualley. Stewart thought about it, drives by Beitzel, gets inside, double pump. And Art Stewart with 5.
Nice composure by Stewart not to rush when he got the ball, gave a little pass fake, ball fake, double clutch in the lane.
Newman drives it, a 7-footer Selvig, drops it off for Montgomery, and he is hacked going up. So Northern Colorado going to the line. The Montana big men connecting for an easy bucket and an early lead for the Grizz. Welcome to Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Early in this Big Sky Championship game, as the Montana Grizzlies out to an 11-4 lead. As you look at the school bio of Montana, 21-9 this year, have finished a game behind Northern Colorado. And the school located in Missoula, Montana. While Northern Colorado, here about an hour north of Denver, as we're in Greeley, Colorado. Only been Division I, as Miles said a few moments ago, since 2003. There's a 20-10, second straight 20-win season for Northern Colorado. Last year they were 25-7. Yes. Northern Colorado off to a slow start here tonight is Taylor Montgomery at the line. On the season, 63%. He misses the first free throw. 87th career start tonight for the senior from Aurora, Colorado.
He's a guy that Coach Hill really loves. He feels that he can defend Quali down low. He's the Bears' best post defender, and they'll leave him in a lot of one-on-one situations with Brian Quali.
And with Montana's size tonight, Miles, they're going to need him.
Yeah, they're going to need him to bang around and not get in foul trouble. Now, I know Mike Proctor, who just came in the game, gave them a lot of energy in the second half last night. Let's see if he can match up with Quali down low.
Mike Proctor, number 41. Cherry on a bounce pass. Quali gets it back underneath and finishes underneath. B.J. Hill in Northern Colorado wanted to travel against Quali.
Huge key to the game, number one for Northern Colorado, was to control the paint. So far, Montana, 10 of their 13 points coming in that painted area.
There is the all-time block shot leader in Big Sky history, Quali, adding to his total. Averages 3 a game, and right now the Grizzlies have their largest lead. Here's Costello into the key. Lloyd will fire a 3. Good! That was needed. He'd been struggling lately, and Elliott Lloyd buries a 3.
Well, he had a rough game last night, turned the ball over 5 times. That'll be big for his confidence later in this game.
Lob inside, Selvig double team to the post. And it's knocked out of bounds by Northern Colorado. And Miles, what do you see as the keys tonight for Montana?
Well, first for Montana, they got to defend the three-point line. Northern Colorado makes 8 threes a game. Then they got to keep the Bears off the foul line. They shot 35 free throws last night against Northern Arizona, and then they want to stay on attack mode, especially Devin Beitzel, the best offensive player in the Big Sky.
Shot clock at 10 for the Grizzlies. 3 from Selvig. And the rebound cleared by Mike Proctor.
Now that's a good shot for Selvig. He's open. He may be 7 feet, but that's his game. He's not a post-up guy. He's going to hang out around the arc, distribute the ball, and shoot threes.
Raba moves into the key. Off-balance runner. Slapped around inside. Cherry comes away with it for Montana. Leads a 3-on-3. Goes by Proctor into the key. Missed the layup. And the rebound last touched out of bounds, too. They point toward Montana as Chris Rashtad on the baseline. And now Scott Twardowski, the official, comes over and tells Chris, no, it's last touch by Montana. They give the ball to Northern Colorado.
Well, Will Cherry just getting in the paint there. Quali doing his best to keep the ball alive. Right off Quali's shoulder. Excellent job of the officials getting together and changing the call.
Good veteran crew working this Big Sky Championship. The officials, Chris Rastatter, Ruben Ramos, Scott Twardowski. And a foul against Will Cherry of Montana. And these are the keys tonight as B.J. Hill has them for his team in their locker room.
It's something they've lived by all year long. One, they want to defend, rebound, and share the rock. And last night, in the first half, they weren't doing all those things, especially defending, as Northern Arizona scored 45 points in the first half. But they figure if they do those 3 things on a daily basis and nightly basis in games, that they'll be successful.
2-3 zone off the inbound for Montana. First zone look tonight from the Grizzlies. Proctor tries the long 2. Kareem Jamar, the rebound, the freshman off the bench for Montana. And then we're getting a foul, though, going for the rebound against the Bears. And it's against Montgomery, his first. First foul whistled against Northern Colorado. Took him nearly 6.5 minutes. Montana's already been called for 14 fouls. Jordan Wood starting for the injured Stockton. Nice pass from Wood as Stewart is fouled inside, taking it up strong.
Excellent ball movement there by the Grizzlies. 4 or 5 guys touch it on the play. As Wood gets into the lane, hits the diving Stewart, going to the line now, drawing the foul.
Stewart 67% from the stripe this year. Chris Caba, the foul of Northern Colorado, his first. Second on the Bears. As Stewart already with 6 points. He averages 8.5 a game.
Yeah, and Stewart, you know, he had a rough night last night. He didn't score at all. But right tonight, they really need his defense with Stockton being out. Stockton's their toughest, grittiest defender. You know, funny, that's something you would say about a Stockton in the Stockton bloodlines. But Stewart has the assignment of guarding Devin Beitzel. And Coach Tinkle said, really, that Stewart's length can really bother Beitzel.
It's been a good week for the Stockton family, as Gonzaga winning the WCC crown out in Las Vegas. And his cousin David, point guard for Gonzaga, is taking it strong into the key was Beitzel, who's looking to get on the scoreboard. And he picks up the foul against Montana. It's the 5th Grizzly team foul. Fouls on Art Stewart, his first. And here is Devin Beitzel to the free throw line. He is 5th in the country, 91% from the stripe this season.
Yeah, and what a great story Devin Beitzel is. Northern Colorado was his only scholarship offer. And so when he came in his first year with Tad Boyle, redshirted, wasn't sure he could play at the Division I level. Actually thought about transferring to the Colorado School of Mines after his first year. And then now over 1,500 points later, he's the Big Sky Player of the Year, one of the most underrated players nationally.
Missing the second, surprisingly. 15-9 Montana. Ryan Qualley back in the game for the Grizzlies. Selvig getting a breather right now. And Jamar, the freshman.
See, whenever Qualley's on the side of the ball, Proctor was fronting him down low with some backside help.
Cherry spins out a 3 and another rebound for Mike Proctor. Beitzel brings it up. Proctor fumbles the ball away, gets it back, and finishes with the left hand inside over Qualley.
Yeah, great confidence by Proctor. Takes him off the dribble, fumbles it, stays with it. Nice little left-hand layup over the big man.
More point guard Cherry. Bothered by an ankle problem as of late. Seemed to tweak it again here last night. And a hand check call as Kareem Jamar was driving. And here is Mike Proctor, Miles. He's all hustle, and he gave Northern Colorado a huge spark off the bench last night.
Yeah, last night he had 4 big offensive rebounds in the second half, as it was a tight game against Northern Arizona. And there you can see he just plays with a lot of confidence, doesn't fear the big fellow down low, just attacks him right away like you need to do to a shot blocker.
Baseline throw in for Montana. By the way, Chris Caba just picking up his second foul as Tate Unruh checks in for a redshirt freshman from Branson, Missouri. Also in Matthias Ward for Montana, 6'7" sophomore. Cherry on the drive, gets inside, feeds a driving Qualley, fouled as he went in for the dunk. Crowd wanted to travel. So Brian Qualley will get 2 free throws. And it's Proctor picking up his first foul. And it's the 4th called against Northern Colorado. 15-11 Montana, leading Northern Colorado in this Big Sky Championship game. And a tremendous start for the Montana Grizzlies, leading by as many as 8 here in the early stages. Brian Qualley having a big night so far for Montana, and he is a big key. Miles, the big guy inside.
Yeah, Brian Qualley, he's so skilled inside. At 6'10", he can really run the floor. He's quick, he's agile, but he has great touch around the basket. Excellent hands, as you can see. He's, caught some of those passes down low and finished.
Welcome to Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. We're in Greeley, Colorado for the Big Sky Championship game, as the home team and the regular season champion here in the Big Sky, Northern Colorado, taking on the Montana Grizzlies here for the right to go to the NCAA tournament. Miles, Montana's been in this position before. This is the first opportunity in the biggest game in the history of Northern Colorado basketball.
Yeah, Montana, they had to go on the road and beat Weber State last year, down 20 at the half. So this is nothing new for this squad. But for Northern Colorado, all new, uncharted territory. They've only been Division I since 2003. And this is their first time getting to the championship game of the Big Sky and having a chance to qualify for the big dance.
And this is such a huge deal for everybody here. The anticipation, you can feel it here in the building. And this is the season series between these two teams. Montana lost actually. Northern Colorado won the first matchup. That was here. And the second game took place in Missoula. And what's odd about this matchup is each team, Miles, had their worst offensive performance against their opponent here tonight.
Yeah, they did. Obviously, both teams did an excellent job defensively. And more, Montana is known as the defensive team. They slow it down, get the pace where they want. They have the all-time Big Sky shot block leader in Brian Qualley down low, number 41. But you want to see Northern Colorado. They want to speed up this pace, get it in transition, attack, use their guards, get in the lane off the bounce and shoot a lot of threes.
That's B.J. Hill, first-year head coach at Northern Colorado. Wayne Tinkle on the other side, fifth year at his alma mater and one of the greatest players in the history of Montana basketball. At the line, Brian Qualley rattles the first free throw out.
Coach Tinkle, a three-time All-Big Sky selection. And also his daughter is a star player at Stanford University, Jocelyn Tinkle, as they're getting ready to try to make a run for the national championship this year.
Qualley gets the second one to crawl in, 1 out of 2 for a 64% foul shooter on the season. Both Qualley and Stewart with 7 to lead Montana. Here is Beitzel, the MVP of the Big Sky for 2011. Proctor spinning inside and walked. And a turnover against Northern Colorado. On the floor for Northern Colorado, Elliot Lloyd running the point with Beitzel, Tate Unruh, Neil Kingman, and Mike Proctor. Montana, who started 6 of 7 from the floor, has missed their last 3. Here's Will Cherry, the sophomore point guard. Thias Ward at the top. It's Cherry out there with Kareem Jamar, Art Stewart, Ward, and Qualley. Tough fadeaway missed by Jamar, and the rebound cleared. Proctor, Northern Colorado. Kingman open 3. Got it!
Excellent pick and pop action between Tate Unruh and Neil Kingman, the local product from Greeley, Colorado. Pick and pop, knocking down the 3.
Northern Colorado, which trailed by as many as 8 thus far, has cut it down to 2, hitting their second three-pointer. Ward gets it to Qualley. Cut off on the baseline. Good defense by Proctor. 7 to shoot. Stewart off balance. Missed it long. Another rebound. Proctor. Here comes Northern Colorado. Unruh with 3. Northern Colorado has the lead. Timeout, Montana. The Northern Colorado Bears coming up alive on a 9-1 run using the long ball. Neil Kingman, a 3. Followed up by the redshirt freshman Unruh, giving the Bears the lead. Let's take a look at the performances of Brian Qualley and Devin Beitzel, our Star Watch. They try and lead their teams into the NCAA tournament with the head-to-head, brought to you by Diet Mountain Dew. There's Qualley, the defensive player of the year, but Beitzel, the overall league MVP.
Beitzel, he's the guy that makes it go for Northern Colorado Bears. He's a quick guard. He plays off the ball. He's small. He's only about 6 feet, 6'1", but he's really strong. He put on over 20 pounds in his career, can shoot off the dribble. He has to really get going for Northern Colorado, I feel, to win this game.
He reminds me of a smaller version of Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah, I think in the sense that he can create his own shot. He's pretty physically strong. He's great off the bounce.
Northern Colorado with their first lead here, as they've been on a 9-1 run after trailing by as many as 8 points.
As you watch Montana play, you know, they're not a team that shoots a ton of three-point shots. They only make 4 per game. Their whole goal is to get that ball inside by pass or penetration on almost every possession first.
Selvig has a foot on Beitzel over there in the corner. Stewart posting up on Root. Backs him in. Spins, scores. Montana goes back in front.
Stewart just taking advantage of his size and length on the freshman Unruh, who couldn't handle him physically.
Deep three from Beitzel. Kareem Jamar with the rebound for Montana. Jamar had a big second half last night for the Grizzlies also. All 10 of his points against Weber State coming in the second half.
You see, Montana's just going to be patient. They're not going to force any bad shots. Quali's going to work block to block, just trying to get open and get himself a look down low.
Foul off the ball against Paul Garnica of Northern Colorado, and here's the Stewart back down, Miles.
Yeah, Kingman can't decide if he wants to go help or not as his guy's getting punished down low. You can't let a guy take 3 or 4 dribbles and not decide to double team as Unruh there and Stewart with the strong finish.
Selvig knocked down, misses a 3. Unruh the rebound. Here come the Bears. Last touch by Kingman, goes crashing into the table on the baseline, and he appears to be hurt. Neil Kingman went tumbling into the table. Now he's up on his feet. Appears to be okay. Here's a look at Kingman, who went crashing into the table on the baseline.
Yeah, he just tries to keep the ball alive. Looks like he didn't hit his head or anything on the table, just probably a little bit
looked like the right shoulder.
Yeah, a little bit shocked from there a little bit, but he's gonna be all right. He's a tough kid. I don't think he's a Greeley, Colorado native. He's not gonna miss this opportunity to get his hometown to the big dance for anything.
Ryan Qualley getting a breather right now for Montana. First appearance of Eric Hutchinson as Cherry drives the lane. Can't get that to go. Garnica the rebound. Northern Colorado trailing by 1, bringing the ball up. Step back, Kingman, long 2. The rebound, Will Cherry for the Grizzlies.
That's a tough shot. Selvig, the 7-footer, stayed in front of him, got a hand up. Hard shot to make, 17-foot contested jump shot.
Selvig on the drive, feeds it across. Hutchinson swatted. Kingman with the block, and he comes away with it.
Hutchinson, not a guy who plays very much because of Stockton's injury. He's having to play a little bit, and plus back-to-back nights.
Paul Garnica the scoop with the left hand.
Excellent drive by Garnica. He sparked in the second half last night, getting to the basket when Beitzel went cold.
Selvig the pull-up. Force that, rebound Northern Colorado.
Well, with Qualley out of the game, they need somebody to score, and Selvig is that one of those options.
Cherry the steal, trying to go coast to coast, and Will Cherry finishes, and Montana reclaims the lead.
Cherry, just some of the best hands in the country. 8th in steals per game, nearly 3 steals per game. Will Cherry with the strong finish.
Whistle off the ball. The lead is to a timeout as Montana, leading by as many as 8 early. They're clinging to a 1-point lead right now. As the block shot, Kingman. He recovers and leads to a hoop by Paul Garnica. And then Will Cherry trying to take it back for Montana as the Grizzlies are up 1.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And in part by Volkswagen.
There's Wayne Tinkle, the head coach of the Montana Grizzlies. His team up 1 here in the Big Sky Conference Championship game. Wayne Tinkle's 5th year as the head coach. 2nd straight 20-win season. He's part of a great coaching legacy, Miles. In fact, Wayne Tinkle was recruited and played for Mike Montgomery 1 season at Montana, then for Stu Morrill. It's a really impressive coaching tree at Montana.
Absolutely it is. I mean, look at Judd Heathcote up there. He went on from Montana to go to Michigan State and played in probably the most famous NCAA, coached in the most famous NCAA title game ever when Magic Johnson and Larry Bird went head-to-head. I mean, tremendous names there. You talk about Blaine Taylor and ODU. They're in the tournament already. Stu Morrill in Utah State. He has his team going in the right direction, probably going to qualify on Sunday.
Beitzel, the runner, in his first field goal. Gives Northern Colorado back the lead.
On the dribble handoff, they didn't do a good enough job of shutting down Beitzel off the dribble. They want to stay with him until the guard can get back in front. Beitzel able to turn the corner and finish.
Here's Cherry stepping his way inside, and the floater, and Montana seesaws back in front.
2 great things on that play. Selvig with the backdoor bounce pass, the 7-footer, and then Cherry with the little step through to avoid the defenders and finish.
How much of an advantage, Miles, is it when you have a 7-footer like Selvig who can pass the ball?
Well, it's a tremendous advantage because you can put him as a point forward on your offensive end, especially when you have the 4 out. And when you have a quality big man like Brian Qualley down low, he doesn't clog things up. He lets Qualley own that paint area.
10 to shoot. Beitzel fires a 3. Tipped up by Proctor. Controlled. Montgomery is fouled underneath. Let's take a look at the Big East tournament bracket. And there's some winners from today thus far. Big matchups in the quarterfinals for the Big East Conference Championship. And the championship game will be on Saturday, 9 Eastern on ESPN.
How about quite the controversy in that St. John's game. St. John steals the ball with less than 5 seconds left. Justin Brownlee steps out of bounds with 1.7 seconds left. Should have been Rutgers' ball with a chance to still tie that game.
Missing the second, we're tied at 22. What'd you think about that? If you were Rutgers right now, how would you be feeling?
If I'm the player, coach, I'm really upset. but Mike Rice, he really took the high road, handled it really well in all the post-game news conferences and interviews that he did. And the officials have already admitted that they made mistakes on the final play, unfortunately.
Kareem Jamar with a three. 35% beyond the arc for the freshman from LA and the powerhouse Westchester High School.
Yeah, Kareem Jamar, he came up big in the second half last night with 2 threes for his part of his 10 points.
Unruh misses a three, another rebound for Jordan Wood. 3-point lead, Montana. They've led by as many as 8. All 8 players for Northern Colorado that have played have scored, yet they trail by 3. Into the lane, Will Cherry, fouled, he'll go to the free throw line. Going up, says Ruben Ramos. The foul, Paul Garnica, his second. Team foul number 6 on Northern Colorado. And it's Will Cherry, 72% at the stripe. First team all Big Sky this season for Cherry.
Right now, Cherry playing on that bum ankle. Says he's about 70 to 75%. Tweaked it a little bit last night on a penetrating drive to the basket. But just like every other player out on this floor, nothing is going to keep him out of this championship game and a chance to qualify again for the NCAA tournament.
We did their Bracket Busters game against Long Beach State. We could tell that he was not even close to being 100%. He looks a lot better here in Greeley.
Yeah, he looks much better. He's moving better laterally. He's getting to the basket there. He was just kind of going around gingerly on his ankle. Couldn't really push off, had no acceleration.
Montana's pushed the lead to 5. There's another zone showed by the Grizzlies on a 7-1 run right now. Elliott Lloyd finds Beitzel to his right, pull up 3, and Qualley with the rebound for Montana.
It's been one shot and done for the most part for Northern Colorado. Qualley and Ward and Selvig controlling the glass.
There's a runner from Wood that's off the mark, and here comes Northern Colorado. Proctor leading the break, takes it to the rack, and he's fouled. Matthias Ward with the foul called for. The block is Proctor with the rebound.
And he's showing some skill as a big guy, trying to get all the way to the basket for Northern Colorado.
Welcome to Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Montana up by 5, late first half, as already these teams, Miles, are in the field.
Love some of those teams. Gonzaga playing some of the best basketball now. You know, they're the ones that kind of got this whole mid-major thing started about 10 years ago in '99 when Dan Munson took them to an Elite 8. Indiana State pulls off an upset in the Missouri Valley. Some excellent teams, some mid-majors to watch for.
Mike Proctor at the free throw line, 58% on the year. Missing short in the first. There's Devin Beitzel, only 3 points so far. Montana's done a very good job of slowing him down.
Roxy, he has to get going. I mean, this is could be his last game of his career tonight. He's 1 for 6. I feel he has to get more touches, be more aggressive on the offensive end if they want to win this game. He's 21 points a game, nearly a third of their offense.
Full court pressure now from Northern Colorado. Stewart brings it across, stumbles a bit, but kept his dribble. And it seems like Montana has taken the crowd out of this game, which is a huge asset for them.
It's really dead in here right now. The tempo is at their pace. They've slowed it down, got the ball inside, getting the shots that they want.
Out of bounds.
And Beitzel is the guy that really excites the crowd. The student body loves him. The community loves him. He grew up only 45 minutes away from here. And when he starts hitting threes or getting to the basket, that's when the place can start to get rocking.
In the zone. They need to find where Beitzel is. He's only 1 of 6 from the field. Nice up and under move, but Costello can't, or Proctor can't finish rather. And there's a foul that sends Northern Colorado to the line. Take a look at the Big 12 tournament bracket. How about that? Oklahoma stunning Baylor. Rough day for Baylor.
Yeah, Perry Jones III ruled ineligible, illegal benefits. Really hurts Baylor. They were a team that you've just been waiting for them to play well all year, and they just never found that chemistry that they had last year when they had that magical run to the Elite Eight.
Big 12 championship game coming up Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Beitzel hits the first, 2 of 3 at the line so far tonight. And the second one pulls the Bears to within 2.
Coach Hill employing this pressure, try to get some turnovers, trying to speed up the pace of the game, get Montana out of the rhythm.
The quicker pace, is it better for Northern Colorado?
Absolutely better for Northern Colorado. They have the quick guards in Beitzel and Garnica, Chris Kaba, who can put the ball on the floor, and Elliott Lloyd. They want to get going up and down, get this to a high-scoring matchup.
Matthias Ward with the basket. Kingman from the corner. And another rebound. Jordan Wood has been active on the defensive glass for Montana. Traveling against the freshman Jamar.
I thought Jamar came to a nice stride stop there, did a 1-2 and just pivoted. Unless he dragged his foot, I didn't see the travel.
Here's Elliott Lloyd bringing it up. Montana has led by as many as 8 here in the early stages. Errant pass as Kingman threw it away, and a turnover committed by Northern Colorado.
You see when Northern Colorado, they want to play so fast. Kingman's trying to make a home run pass there. There was nothing Tate Unruh was going to be able to do with that ball at 12 feet going away from the basket, so it was really an unnecessary pass, and this zone has been implemented to even slow the pace down more for the Grizzlies.
You think it might be a case here, Miles, Northern Colorado, it's such a big deal here, this game, that they might be too pumped up, too excited, and they need something to settle them in?
Yeah, I think a little bit of nerves, but I've played in some big games before. That usually goes away after about 4 or 5 minutes. Then it just becomes a basketball game again. Now, in the second half, if it remains a tight game, then I think the nerves pick up again.
This is a Northern Colorado program that has come out of nowhere, really. As Stewart misses the free throw, is rebound cleared by Northern Colorado. 2 minutes left, first half. Montana leading it by 4. Here with the NCAA tournament bid on the line, and a blocking foul committed by Ward, who's not happy with the call. Here's that turnaround. We talked about it. Northern Colorado has really come out of nowhere. This is their conference record. The last 5 years, from 2-14 under Tad Boyle, who was here for 4 seasons, and now B.J. Hill has him in a position playing for the right to go to the big dance.
And remember that first year, they were 4-24 overall record, lost to a Division II team. But it means a lot to these seniors. Devin Beitzel, Chris Kaba, Neil Kingman, Taylor Montgomery. They're a very tight group. 4 starters. They really want to do this for the city, for the university, for their coaches. They've come such a long way from that 4-24 season to turn around like they have. A credit to these players and coaches what they've done here, starting with Tad Boyle.
Beitzel hits both. Ward called for his 3rd foul. As Northern Colorado in 2, and the crowd coming to their feet here in Greeley. Stewart had to deflect it out of bounds by Elliott Lloyd. It'll stay with Montana.
In a game like this, the crowd can spark you to, to runs, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-0 runs. Last night, they did that against Northern Arizona. They were so active and into the game the whole time, standing and going crazy. Tonight, they've really been quieted.
You played in a great home arena at Arizona. A steal by Beitzel. Beitzel going to the other end, lays it in. We're tied at 29. You played in a great home arena, McHale Center in Tucson. How much does that crowd lift you guys up?
Oh man, it gives you chills down your spine when they start going crazy for you. You feel energized, you want to make plays, start getting stops, and you feel like everything's going to drop through the basket.
Jamar feeds underneath, pump fake, Ward, the reverse layup, missed it. Kingman clears for Northern Colorado. Beitzel has scored the last 6 for the Bears. Fouled on a 3. Wayne Tinkle not a happy camper right now. Here was Beitzel picking the pocket and going in for the lay-in.
Roxy, he's that guy that I told you that can spark it. The fans love him, the crowds love him. He's a small guy, but he plays so hard, he's so determined, plays the passing lane. He's getting the crowd rocking, get him on their side. Mini run by the Bears to end the half.
Beitzel shooting 3. He is 5 of 6 from the line already. So you take a look at the improvement of Devin Beitzel throughout his entire career here at Northern Colorado.
He credits Coach Tad Boyle and Coach B.J. Hill for his development. After he wanted to leave after his freshman year, they worked with him more on his skills, developing his ball handling, getting him to be a better shooter, and it's really paid off. Obviously, he's finishing his career on a very high note.
Beitzel has really been on a roll as of late. The Big Sky MVP, 8 straight games with at least 20 points. During the last 8, he's averaging 26.5 a game. 3rd in Northern Colorado history in scoring, went over 1,500 career points last night. Hits 2 out of 3, and it's the largest lead for Northern Colorado, and Beitzel has scored the last 8 for the Bears. And he's brought this crowd into the game.
Yeah, and this little bit of pressure, three-quarter court pressure, has gotten Montana out of their offense. It's taken some time off the clock. They haven't been able to just walk the ball at the floor.
Foul against Northern Colorado. And a blocking foul will put Montana at the line. Foul against Beitzel, his first. It will be the freshman Kareem Jamar, just a 53% foul shooter to the free throw line.
Now Kareem Jamar, he comes from one of the best high school programs in the country, Ed Azam, Westchester High School. He actually won back-to-back state titles in high school, and one of those years beat his teammate Will Cherry of McClymonds High School from Oakland.
Westchester also producing guys like Hassan Adams, who played at Arizona, Trevor Ariza, Gabe Pruitt. Also in with the second, and not just basketball. Ken Norton Jr. went there, right?
Some big-time athletes in the LA area.
So Jamar ties the game. 31-all, 43 seconds left in this first half, and a 30-second timeout. Take a look at the Big East tournament bracket. Boy, it's some big matchups. How about that Syracuse-St. John's game tomorrow?
It's going to be a huge game. Steve Lavin done an excellent job. Dwight Hardy, but that Syracuse zone can give anybody some problems.
Louisville waiting to find out if they'll play West Virginia or Marquette, a team that's on the bubble. The championship game of the Big East will be on Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Montana and Northern Colorado slugging it out here in Greeley for the Big Sky Tournament Championship. Montana looking to get it for the 2nd straight year and on the road. They won it at Weber State last year. Game that's featured, this is the 2nd tie, already 7 lead changes between these clubs. Unruh runs it down and throws it off the leg of Qualley. Montana saying it was last touched by Unruh, falling out of bounds. It was last touched by Northern Colorado. Montana ball. Nice selling job by the Montana bench.
Absolutely, they did a great job. They were right there for the call. Let's see if it was the correct call. Tough pass to catch for Unruh. They throw it. I think it was the right call. Hits off Qualley, then back off of Unruh.
Ruben Ramos points the way of Montana. Yep, there it is. Got him. Good call, Miles.
Excellent.
First appearance for Chase Adams, speaking of Tucson, a Tucson product, in for Montana. The Grizzlies can play for the last shot of the half. You're looking for quality here?
Yeah, you want to get it down low to quality, but they want some dribble penetration first.
10 seconds left in the half. Here's Jamar. 5 seconds. Wood into the key. Finds Qualley, but he charged first. Offensive foul against Jordan Wood. His second.
Wood just goes in there a little bit out of control, gets the penetration that they want, draws the defense. Taylor Montgomery, excellent job stepping over, taking the hit right to his chest.
Offense for defense as Neil Kingman comes back for Northern Colorado. Comes into Beitzel. 60-footer, well short at the buzzer. And we're back where we started, tied at 31 here at the half. all, Montana. Northern Colorado championship game of the Big Sky here in Greeley. We're in store for a tremendous second half. And let's go to the studios and to Carl Ravitch with the Cisco halftime report. Okay. Welcome to Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. It's the capital. We're about an hour north of downtown Denver here in Greeley, Colorado. And we have a tie ball game. Getting ready for the start of the second half, Montana and Northern Colorado. Along with Miles Simon, Roxy Bernstein with you, and glad you're with us. It's been a tight ball game. We expected this, Miles. Two good teams going at it. They'd go toe-to-toe tonight, and we've gotten the best so far of both squads.
Yeah, they're the top two teams in the conference. There's a lot on the line. Obviously, the NCAA tournament berth, and both of these teams just came out fighting right from the beginning.
First half, we expected a big game from Brian Qualley. He responded early, but he's got to get some more shots up, but he was the go-to guy inside for Montana.
He's so skilled down low. He has excellent touch around the basket. He can run the floor. He's athletic. But unfortunately, these three highlights, those were his only three shots, and they all came early in the half. But the key moment, really, for Northern Colorado was getting this guy going, the MVP of the Big Sky. Devin Beitzel had a run where he scored 8 straight points to spark a comeback, to to get this game tied up as it went to halftime. Now here you got turning the corner. Here's a little dribble handoff play. You see Derek Selvig guarding the post player. Beitzel comes off, gets the handoff. Selvig doesn't do a good job of walling him off. Beitzel, excellent job of turning the corner, getting to the rim off dribble penetration, and then he sees the shot blocker come. Little flip shot, little floater in the lane. Devin Beitzel got it going late for Northern Colorado, trying to carry them to the Big Sky Championship.
Montana with the ball to start the second half. They're in the maroon. Northern Colorado playing at home. They're in the white. And a whistle. And Selvig stepped on the sideline and a turnover right off the bat for the Bears here in the second half, rather for the Grizzlies in the second half.
Well, you hate to see that coming out of the halftime locker room. Set call to get quality of the ball. Selvig just loses his spacing on the floor and steps out of bounds.
Elliott Lloyd, step back three. And the rebound slapped out to Selvig, who runs it down for Montana. Miles, what can Montana do rather to get quality of the ball and get him some shots inside?
Well, I think they just need to ISO him on the side, just get one guard over there. But then right there, Wood needs to deliver that pass. Quality's calling for the ball, and they don't give it to him, and he has the guy sealed on the high side.
Blocking foul against Northern Colorado.
Wood had a chance to deliver that pass, take one dribble toward the baseline, pump fake high, hook pass low, get quality going to the bucket.
Second foul against Beitzel. At the line for Montana, Art Stewart, who leads the Grizzlies with 9 points so far tonight, and is now 3 of 3 at the line. Stewart, who was scoreless here in the win against Weber State last night, did have 7 rebounds, and he'd been a hot player. 33 points in the previous 3 games prior to last night. Missed the second rebound, cleared Neil Kingman for Northern Colorado.
I expect to see Devin Beitzel get a lot more aggressive this half. He does not want to let his team lose. He's a very determined individual. He's a big-time scorer.
Their 2 leading scorers, Beitzel and Kingman, a combined 4 of 14 from the field in the first half.
They need to go back to him.
Foul underneath, and Selvig called for holding Montgomery in the post, and Derek Selvig with 3 fouls. Montana has some foul difficulty. Selvig has 3, Matthias Ward has 3, and they're already a bit shorthanded, playing without one of their starters, Sean Stockton, here tonight. There's another block. Qualley, the all-time block shot leader. Big Sky history, chops up another.
Well, Kingman went with his left hand, which was nearest to Qualley, the shot blocker. You've got to shoot a little right-hand jump hook there to finish.
Hit it into Qualley. He kicks it out. Luke goes baseline, and he stepped on the baseline. Turnover. Montana, they're second in the first 87 seconds of the second half.
And Coach Tinkle's letting Wood know, just move the ball to the next guy, wide open, Will Cherry at the top.
Selvig will actually know he's staying in the game. And Jordan Wood will hit the bench for Wayne Tinkle. As Kareem Jamar, the spark plug off the Montana bench, an early appearance here in the second half.
And Roxy, remember last night, Montana only used one sub the whole second half, and that was Kareem Jamar. They only played 6 guys. So could fatigue and depth be a huge factor on the road here in the championship game?
Kingman lost the ball and throws it off the leg of Selvig out of bounds, and Northern Colorado will keep it. Pretty athletic play by Kingman, and way to keep it alive for Northern Colorado.
Yeah, high concentration level to recover that ball and in the air throw the ball off the Montana defender.
It's a heady play from a senior. This is an outstanding Northern Colorado senior class. 3, Kingman got it. Second 3 for Neil Kingman. Northern Colorado by 2.
All created by the initial penetration by Beitzel. He gets in the paint, draws 2 defenders, ball rotation, knockdown 3.
Selvig fires a 3. That one rattles off the board and back in. The 7-footer with his first points of the night.
And Montana really needs that from him. He's their 3rd leading scorer and best 3-point shooter. Selvig has to get going, had 0 points in the first half.
Beitzel goes out of bounds. Last touch by Montana. And Northern Colorado ball as you see the 3 from Neil Kingman.
Well, I love the touch pass there. Ball doesn't stick. Kingman knocks down the 3. And then Selvig, Kingman a little bit too late on the closeout. Shooters roll, Derek Selvig.
Selvig, the 7-footer, is a 41% foul shooter. Cherry steals the inbound. Second time he's done that tonight. Can't finish inside, but got the rebound. It bounced right back to him. Cherry missed again. Now Northern Colorado has it. Lloyd looks to attack. Kingman a three. Too strong. Out of bounds to Montana. Another good look from the corner by Kingman.
Yeah, I think Kaba touched that ball last. Stewart was up there battling for it, but Kaba gets the fingertips on it, knocks it out of bounds.
Northern Colorado looking for their first ever trip to the NCAA tournament. Montana looking to win their second in a row.
You got to remember, the Montana players probably feel pretty comfortable right now. Last year against Weber State, they were down 20 at the half before Anthony Johnson went bananas.
Art Stewart a three. 13 for Stewart to lead Montana. Largest lead of the second half for either side. Forced jump hook by Taylor Montgomery, and Montana with the clear. Lamar goes baseline, and he walked. With this conference tournament atmosphere, Miles, you can just feel it here, the excitement in the building. And unfortunately, you never got to play in one of these. The Pac-10 didn't have one when you were playing.
Pac-10 had gotten rid of the Pac-10 tournament. It was something I wish I could have played in as a player. You love to play as many games as possible. You love to compete. And right now, in this gym, you can feel the tension. You can cut it with a knife. The place is ready to explode. They just want the Bears, and especially Beitzel. He's that spark to light this place on fire.
But you did get to win a national championship.
I did win the big tourney, the most important one.
Ninth turnover by Northern Colorado. Montana with 8 giveaways tonight. Get it to Qualley in the post. Out of the double team. Cherry an open three-pointer. And the rebound cleared by Beitzel.
Great opposite look when the double team came by Qualley. Cherry just couldn't knock down the three.
Northern Colorado just 1 of 6 from the field to start the second half, and 2 turnovers and a blocking foul against Montana, but the Grizzlies jump out to a 4-point lead here early in the second half. Thank you, Carl. 38-34, Montana leads, and already a long way to go, both the Big East and Big 12. But here, Miles, still we have a long way to go in Montana. Good job on the offensive end.
Yeah, a little bit of defensive confusion. Look, freeze it there. Two defenders, not sure who they should be guarding. They're ball watching. Then Selvig strong with the rock. Late rotation, Art Stewart makes them pay. Three-point jumper. Montana now has gotten the lead because of some three-point shooting inside out here in the second half.
And Art Stewart has been the wild card in this game. He leads Montana with 13 points. He was scoreless here last night.
Good adjustment here out of the timeout by Montana to go zone. Usually most coaches, probably B.J. Hill, had a man play drawn up. Tinkle counteracts with the zone to throw Northern Colorado off balance.
Love that chess match between the two coaches, expecting one thing out of a timeout and you get another. When you were coaching, would you like to do that?
Love to play chess. Love to try to outthink the coach what's going on in their huddle. But let's be a little bit dangerous situation right here. Let's watch out for Beitzel and the three-point shooting in Northern Colorado.
Lloyd drives. Cava the pull-up. Just his second bucket, and he pulls the Bears to within 2.
Tough shot, and he's letting Chris Rastatter know that he got hit on the arm. He's talking about and one, baby, even as he goes down to the defensive end.
Here's Selvig, and a timeout taken by Wayne Tinkle and Montana. As the Montana Grizzlies still lead this one. They're on the road, where Northern Colorado is undefeated here in Greeley this year. Montana by 2. Welcome to Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. The Rocky Mountains, the championship game of the Big Sky, and Montana up to Northern Colorado. It's time for another edition of America's favorite game, Simon Says.
Well, first we got who's the fourth #1 seed. Right now, Duke is on that line. Notre Dame creeping in with a strong run in the Big East tournament by winning it or probably getting to the finals, and some Duke slippage. They could slide in. But don't sleep on the Tar Heels. Roy Williams, they're playing well right now. With slippage by the first two teams and a win in ACC championship, they can get there. Duke, very hard to repeat, going back to back. But Cinderella, those are four of the best teams in the country that not a lot of people talk about. Belmont especially, 30 wins, they're a three-point shooting team. They win by an average of 18 a game. they'll be someone to reckon with in the NCAA tournament.
Jamar misses a three against the zone from Northern Colorado as the Bears bring it up. Well, you mentioned about Duke repeating, and that's something you had to do, Miles, at Arizona as Kingman goes crashing into the lane and an offensive foul as Kingman runs over Qualley. And the charge, Neil Kingman's first foul of the night, as we take another look here at the Kingman drive where he was out of control.
Well, I think a lot of times you anticipate Qualley just going to go up and block your shot because he's one of the best, but there he comes in, stands tall, takes it to his chest. Excellent defensive rotation by Brian Qualley.
Like Duke, when you came back to Arizona for your senior year, you had the target on your back. How tough was that? And for your group trying to repeat?
It's so hard. We came in #1 in the country. Everyone plays their biggest and usually tries to play their best game against you because you are the champion. You get everyone's best shot. And, you know, Duke has done a great job of sustaining and maintaining, you know, a great record this year. Fought through an injury to Kyrie Irving, one of their best players. But it is going to be tough to repeat. There's a lot of good teams out there when you're talking about Pitt and Ohio State and Kansas. It's not going to be an easy task, but it is something that can be accomplished by this Duke team.
Cherry fouled inside as he was driving the lane. Chris Kaba called for his third. And Will Cherry will go to the free throw line to shoot a pair here and is repeating. Well, Montana's trying to repeat here in the Big Sky. Cherry 2 of 2 at the line, 8 points for the sophomore. And he bangs in the first one. Montana led by as many as 8 points in the first half. There's Cherry from last night. He had 16-14 of those coming after halftime. Montana trailed it by 10 at halftime last night. They had 12 points at the break.
He really sparked him in the second half. He was getting to the lane, taking opportunity breaks, creating for others. His penetration, his quickness, and his determination helped get Montana over the top.
Second half, Montana shot 62% from the field last night to get to the title game. Kaba a three.
Kaba's at his best in a catch-and-shoot situation. The defense slacks in. Kaba's ready to shoot as soon as he receives the ball.
Tied at 39. The crowd has come alive again. Selvik fouled on a three by Mike Proctor, stepping out to challenge the 7-foot junior's three from the corner.
Little inside-out action. Taylor Montgomery finds his teammate as the Grizzlies defense just gets lost and they close out with their hands down. You can't on Chris Kaba because he's 5th in the Big Sky in three-point percentage at 43% on the season.
Selvik shooting three as he was fouled by Proctor on the three. First one is in, and second foul against Mike Proctor of Northern Colorado. Selvik on the year, 71% from the line.
Derek Selvik, he's a guy, he's Mr. Montana. The Selvik family is all about Montana's parents. Doug and Anita played hoops there. His uncle Robin is the women's coach. He has a sister on the women's team playing for his uncle. Unbelievable family tradition of hoops continued on by the excellent play of Derek Selvik in his career at Montana.
The first family of Montana basketball, the Selviks. Proctor into the key, gets it back out to Beitzel. Again, checking out the lineage of the Selvik family at Montana.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, just that whole family. They're from Glendive, Montana. They've been so successful in everything they've done in Grizzly hoops.
Selvik's dad, now a high school coach, in fact, was Derek's high school coach at Dawson County. Here's a Beitzel step back three. Northern Colorado goes back in front.
I mean, Roxy, anytime this guy makes a play, the whole arena stands up, goes crazy. They love Devin Beitzel and his story and where he's come from and how far he's gone.
His first three of the night. Jamar posting up Beitzel. Then he finishes inside, spinning on the right block.
I love the action. Jamar taking advantage of his size and strength against the smaller Beitzel.
12 minutes to play now. Title game, Big Sky Conference. Steal. Cherry goes in and lays it in with the right hand.
By Cherry just crossing over there, messed up the timing of Kaba, who was coming from behind to try to block the shot.
Northern Colorado already 5 turnovers here in the second half after only 7 the entire first half.
Let's see if they can get Beitzel a look in a high pick and roll.
Pick and slip going inside. Montgomery with the finish. Taylor Montgomery off the feed from Beitzel.
Beitzel, after hitting a jumper, draws 2 defenders, hits his partner Montgomery. A little luck is always good.
Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Big Sky Conference Championship, Montana clinging to a 1-point lead. And there's a proud mom, the mother of the Big Sky MVP.
Yeah, Micheline Beitzel. Devin Beitzel had a tough upbringing. At the age of 14, he decided to leave home and he goes to live with a second family, the Louth family. They took him in, helped raise him through his high school years. You know, it's been a hard situation he's come from. You know, he's come so far in his life, and he really credits the Louth family for some of his growth and development as a young man. And he has 2 tattoos on his arm. The first is a dragon. The dragon stands for the strength that he had to leave his home at age 14 and go out basically on his own with a second family. Then he has a phoenix tattoo for the second chance he was given by the Louth family. And he's really thankful, and he's reconciliated with his mother. They have a strong relationship now. But Devin Beitzel has had to fight through a lot of adversity to get where he's at now in his life.
Really is a remarkable story when you think about everything he's been through, and even had some turbulent times here at Northern Colorado. Montana in the maroon, leading it by 1. Winner goes to the NCAA tournament.
They got to deliver that pass. I mean, he's open. He has the guy on his back. You got to give the big fellow the ball.
5 to shoot. Cherry, left corner, missing badly on a 3, and a shot clock violation as the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Northern Colorado basketball.
Because they weren't able to make a post-entry pass early in the possession, Northern Colorado's defense locks in, causing a shot clock violation.
They really have to find a way to get Qualley the ball in the post, and not just let him get a touch, but let him have a scoring chance in the post.
Hasn't taken a shot yet this half. still 3 for 3, and most of those touches were within the first 6 minutes of the game.
Lob underneath for Proctor, and it goes too far and out of bounds, and another giveaway by Northern Colorado.
I know that was a set call, but just because it's a set call doesn't mean you have to throw the pass. If it's not there, move the ball to the next play and then continue on in your motion.
Here's Art Stewart leading Montana with 13 tonight. Fires a three. That's a brick, and it's controlled by Northern Colorado. Kaba can't handle the pass, and it goes out of bounds. Northern Colorado gives it right back.
That was a tough pass. Lloyd threw that ball a little bit too hard. He was about 10 or 12 feet away from him, and he threw a rocket at Kaba, who was expecting a little softer pass, trying to catch it in a rhythm because he had just knocked down a three a few possessions ago.
14 turnovers now committed by the Bears. 7 in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Cherry out on the floor for Montana. Jordan Wood back in the game. Jamar, Ward, and Qualley. Cherry tries to get it to Jamar. Deflected run down at midcourt by the freshman Jamar. Crowd wanted to travel. Cherry, pull up. Tough shot by Will Cherry.
Really difficult shot. Going to his weak hand, stopping on a dime, getting the Northern Colorado defender off him, and then making the bucket.
Lloyd, Beitzel, Kaba, Proctor, Montgomery, the 5-4 Northern Colorado. Whistle and a foul against Montana. Matthias Ward with his 4th foul. Some foul trouble for Montana with 9:25 to play. Ward has 4, Selvig 3, and Cherry has 3.
And not a deep bench that the Grizzlies can go to now. Now they go with the smaller lineup, bringing in Stewart for Ward. And that puts Kareem Jamar, the freshman, at the 4 spot.
Stop play before the inbound pass. Reset the shot clock. Northern Colorado doesn't have really any difficulty other than 3 fouls for Chris Kaba.
Now I'm betting, Roxy, that they're not going to throw this ball deep. Will Cherry has already picked off 2 of those passes on the baseline out of bounds.
You think Coach Hill's got that message across to his team? Let's not try that again.
Against this zone, Northern Colorado has to penetrate the gaps of the zone, kick out to 3-point shooters. Too much standing around right now.
Eitzel holding it. Here's the penetration from Lloyd, and the floater swatted out of bounds by Qualley.
If you're Elliott Lloyd, you got to realize who just switched onto you. The best shot blocker in Big Sky history. Back it out, and then penetrate against him again and try to use your quickness.
3rd block for Qualley, who deflects the inbound pass, but Montgomery controls it now. And a pickoff by Montana. Jordan Wood.
Great job by Jordan Wood because Montgomery's body angle only showed that he could throw it one direction. Wood with the anticipation.
And a foul as they try to get Qualley the ball. It's Montgomery with the foul. Let's take a look at the Big 12 tournament bracket. Colorado winning over Iowa State today. Big 12 championship game coming back. ESPN on Saturday. 6 o'clock Eastern, the Big 12 championship game from Kansas City. It's Oklahoma, Texas.
Where has Texas gone? They're a team that's really disappeared. They were in that #1 seed conversation just a few weeks ago. Suffered 3 losses in 4 games. Defensively, they had been giving it up, and Jordan Hamilton, their star player, not playing well as of late.
Since we're in Colorado, they won today. Have they done enough to get in your eyes?
Man, Colorado with some quality wins, I think they're going to get in, especially with some of these other bubble teams that have been losing.
Kingman with a rebound and a reach, a frustration foul from Qualley, his 3rd. Team foul number 5 on Montana here in the second half. So you can add Qualley's name to the list of foul difficulty for Wayne Tinkle to deal with. What's he saying? Trust me, I've been there.
Yeah,
I know how you're feeling.
I love it.
You can't do it?
I think he's just telling him, on that play, we don't need you to be so aggressive. We need you in the game rather than having to sit you for a few minutes now in crunch time.
Montana by 3. Whistle against Wood as Beitzel on the drive. Third foul, Jordan Wood. 6 now on Montana, so on the next foul, Northern Colorado will go to the bonus.
And this is not a team you want to put on the foul line. They're the 5th best free throw shooting team in the country. Beitzel, one of the best at 91%.
Yeah, as a team, Northern Colorado, 78.1% on the year. Beitzel way out top.
Beitzel not looking to be aggressive. You wonder if fatigue is setting in. Remember, he has not been subbed out in either game, the semifinals or the championship.
Selvig just picks up his 4th foul. And Northern Colorado going to the line. Montana by 3.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And in part by Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. Turn shaving into gliding and skeptics into believers.
Thank you, Carl. Yeah, Marquette down by 1. 19 wins. They need that one to get in.
It would solidify them in the field for sure. You know, if they lose, they're going to be sweating it out on Sunday for sure.
There's the Montana foul trouble and some difficulty for Wayne Tinkle and the Grizzlies. 4 fouls each for Derek Selvig and Matthias Ward. Brian Qualley with 3. Also 3 for their point guard Will Cherry, and Jordan Wood starting for the injured Sean Stockton has 3. As Mike Proctor rolls the first free throw in.
Proctor, a guy who gave great energy off the bench last night, had 4 big offensive rebounds in the second half versus NAU, a guy who was recruited by BYU to be a volleyball player, so he's obviously an excellent athlete.
He's also started 46 games here in Northern Colorado. 31 of the 33 last year. Was a big performer for Northern Colorado, and they won 25 games last year. Montana working on a 2-point lead. Stewart again finishes inside.
Stewart has been the star tonight, playing with a lot of confidence. He feels he can take some of these smaller Northern Colorado guards down low and make them pay.
By himself underneath. The two-hand rip for Mike Proctor.
There's that volleyball athleticism I was just talking about. Proctor with the big ups and the big finish.
Jerry gets to the freshman Jamar. Still 15 on the shot clock. Posting up Jamar, offensive foul. Ran right over Elliott Lloyd, and Jamar's first foul, and it's a charge against Montana.
Well, here we go. Just Elliott Lloyd, he beats him to the spot. He felt that Jamar was going to go back over his left shoulder. Elliott Lloyd moves his feet. Excellent call by the referee. I don't like seeing Beitzel pick up his dribble there. He has Qualley switched on him. I feel he can back him out and take him off the bounce.
Here's the floater, left it short. Got his own miss. Comes away from the pack, pulls it out for Northern Colorado. Lloyd a three, off the mark. Kaba the offensive rebound, fouled on a putback. And if that's Qualley, that's four. Real problems then for Montana. It is fourth on Brian Qualley, and Wayne Tinkle, who takes off the jacket, really has some concern.
I think Qualley, he's a high basketball IQ guy. With 6 minutes left, a 2-point lead. I think Selvig's going to be coming in for him, but I don't know how long you leave Qualley out for. I think he's a smart enough player. He doesn't commit a lot of fouls when he's going for shot blocks. He really does a great job of getting his body out of the way with his timing. But I think this is going to be a quick blow for Qualley going down the stretch.
Kaba on the season, 82% from the line. Misses both. Selvig the rebound. Montana with the ball by 2.
Roxy, remember you asked me about nerves early in the game. I said it plays a factor in about the first 5 minutes, and then in a tight game late, in situations you've never been in before, it tends to creep back up.
Wood thought about the three. And a steal. There's Proctor providing the spark again off the Northern Colorado bench.
Both Wood and Selvig passing up open three-point shots. Selvig, if you're the main guy, one of the best scorers and best three-point shooter, go ahead and pull the trigger.
Beitzel way out top. Attacking Selvig with the 4 fouls. Turnaround shot. Proctor misses, Selvig the rebound.
I think Beitzel might be a little bit tired. Last night in those situations, he was backing it out, going one-on-one and breaking guys down. Tonight, picking up the dribble right off the pick and roll and passing the ball.
He played all 40 minutes here last night. Has not sat down tonight. Tipped out of bounds, Montana ball. With the way this game is being played and the pace, Miles, you'd think would have to favor. This is a game that Montana has to be happy that it's at their tempo.
Absolutely, Montana's done a great job of slowing it down, trying to get the shots that they want, making it a half-court, grinded out game, and low scoring.
5 to shoot, Selvig a deep three. It's an air ball short. Last touch by Wood and Montana, Northern Colorado basketball. There's Beitzel. Timeout taken by Northern Colorado, and it's a 30 for B.J. Hill. Let's take a look back, Miles, in last year. Montana, we've alluded to it. The 2010 Big Sky Championship game, Montana winning it at Weber State. Now Montana trailed by 20 at the half.
Yeah,
they were down 40 to 20.
I remember watching this game. Anthony Johnson, he just went bananas. 42 points for the game, 34 in the second half. But even more impressive than that, he scored the last 21 straight on Weber State's home floor to take home the title. What an impressive effort by Anthony Johnson. And I feel Coach Tinkle talked about it this morning, that the confidence that they got from last year's game winning on the road was going to play a factor in tonight's game, that these guys believe they can win on the road in a conference championship game in a hostile atmosphere, and so far it's playing true to form.
Montana looking for their 8th Big Sky Conference Tournament championship. Northern Colorado looking for their first. Looking for their first trip to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, they've only been postseason eligible since 2007. They're trying to make history here in Greeley, Colorado.
Inside 5 minutes to play. Beitzel a threes, it gets knocked down, and he gives Northern Colorado the lead, and he appears to be limping a bit.
He might have even got fouled. There was a lot of body contact there, but I think Chris Rassad is saying that Beitzel initiated by probably kicking his foot out a little bit. But Beitzel's the guy that ignites the whole arena every time he makes a bucket.
Cherry drives. Cherry, offensive foul. 4th foul on Cherry, and here is the Beitzel three.
Excellent set play out of the timeout. Great arc on the shot, great lift. Beitzel looks like he has excellent legs, gets his feet underneath him. They just got tangled up as he came down. Beitzel coming up limping, but there's no way you're taking Beitzel out of this game with 4.5 to go.
Appears to be the right ankle for Beitzel that he was putting some pressure on, coming gingerly back down the floor. Devin Beitzel, no doubt the catalyst for this Northern Colorado team.
Yeah, one of the things I'm most impressed with, first team basketball, first basketball academic All-American at Northern Colorado. So not only does he get it done on the floor, but he gets it done in the classroom. A credit to that young man with how much adversity he's had to deal with in his life to get to the point that he's at today.
And there's his mom waving her pom-pom, cheering on her son, Micheline Beitzel. 1 point. Northern Colorado lead, 4:32 to play. Last 4 possessions for the Grizzlies, 3 turnovers and a missed 3.
How much longer can Coach Tinkle leave his star player out of the game?
Pump fake, Beitzel, open look, spins out. Last touch by Selvig, it goes to Northern Colorado underneath. Pump fake, he got Wood in the air, and he's so creative, not only creating angles when he drives in, but just that little subtle fake to create his own shot.
Well, he's a high basketball IQ guy, and young fellas out there, if you're a shooter, have the pump fake in your arsenal, because guys are going to close out to you hard.
2-3 zone for Montana. Working on Selvig with 4 fouls. Proctor kicks it out. Kaba goes baseline, poked away by Selvig from behind. Last touch by Stewart. It stays with Northern Colorado. And our final media timeout. Northern Colorado clinging to a 1-point lead. Big Sky Championship on the line in Greeley.
There's an undeniable fact that you can either avoid thinking about or use as motivation. This will be the only time in your life you get to play here. The only time you'll come together on this team. The only time you'll have an opportunity to win this championship. The only time you'll have a chance to do something together that will be remembered forever. Remember that. It might be what turns you into champions.
Yeah, Carl, just stay on the ESPN family of networks for all your championship week viewing, with Northern Colorado right now hanging on. They lead Montana by 1. Qualley comes back in the game with 4 fouls. 3 Grizzlies on the floor. Cherry, Qualley, and Selvig have 4 fouls apiece.
You can't leave them out in this situation. Under 4, ticket to the tournament on the line.
Kingman on the drive, he gets it to go over Selvig. 3-point lead, Northern Colorado, their largest lead of the second half.
Qualley let Kingman get to a strong hand. He was able to finish at the rim over the big fella.
Here's Cherry inside. Rebound, Northern Colorado, Mike Proctor. Montana just 4 points in the last 8+ minutes. They led it 45-42. Since have gone 2 of 7 from the field, 4 turnovers, 7 straight Northern Colorado points. Weitzel. 10 to shoot. Kaba fouled on a 3. Art Stewart fouls Kaba. 3 free throws.
And Stewart knew right away. When you close out to a shooter, you close out with your hand up. Can't get it caught in the cookie jar there. Kaba was in great position for a catch and shoot situation. Draws the foul. Now one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country going to the line.
Honorable mention, all Big Sky. Free throw short. Kaba is 0 for 3 tonight from the line. 82% on the year.
I think he's a little bit tight right now. Nervous situation. Never been in this position before in his life.
Senior from Gary, Indiana. Second one. No good. 0 of 4.
On those last 2 free throws, as you're fatigued, late in the game, second night, 2 games in a row, he has no knee bend, so he's short on both of the free throws. You got to get deep knee bend, get that ball to the back of the rim.
Missed all 3. Qualley clears. What a break for the Grizzlies. Inside 3 minutes to play now. Northern Colorado having a rough night at the free throw line. 11 of 23. Jamar missing a 3. Kaba clears the rebound. He brings it up himself. Looks to drive. Runs over Selvig. Offensive foul. Kaba's 4th. Trying to foul out Selvig. Attacked him.
It was a mistake, Roxy. He tried to get all those free throws back in that one possession. Montana was back defensively, and Kaba still probably thinking about the free throws. Tried to attack when there was nothing there.
Offensive foul against Chris Kaba, who tried to go coast to coast.
Yeah, he's going, look at, there's five Grizzly players back across half court. 3 of them in the lane. Selvig does an excellent job of moving his feet and absorbing the contact.
52-49, Northern Colorado looking for their first ever trip to the NCAA tournament. Montana on the road, looking to win the Big Sky for the 2nd straight year. 2:41 remaining. Northern Colorado leading at 52-49. Let's take a look at your keys for Montana tonight, Miles.
Defend the arc. They've done a good job of that. 7 of 19. Obviously, Northern Colorado hasn't shot it lights out, but they've made some key ones. Have done a good job, fairly good job of keeping the Bears off the line. Remember, the Bears shot 35 free throws last night. Attack, attack, attack. I don't think that Northern Colorado has been on attack mode like they want to. Devin Weitzel been a little bit hesitant, even though he's put up some good numbers tonight, but he hasn't been going at the Montana defense like he normally has.
Montana ball coming out of the timeout. They have only a 30-second timeout remaining. 2 30s and a full for Northern Colorado. Team fouls 6 against the Bears, while Northern Colorado in the double bonus, Montana's committed 10.
2 options here. First thing, you got to try to get Brian Qualley the ball. If he can't get it down low, it has to be Will Cherry off some penetration. He is the best option of creating his own shot for the team.
Selvig missing. Offensive rebound. Stewart fouled in the lane. He'll shoot 2 with 2:25 to play.
Qualley did a great job of keeping that ball alive on the weak side. Just tapped it up and allowed Stewart to come in from the top and get the offensive rebound.
Stewart to the line, shooting 2. First one is in. He has a Montana high 16 points tonight. One more coming. Rattles off, rebound, Proctor for the Bears.
And remember, Montana, they're successful in tight games this year. They're 3-1 in games decided by 3 points or less.
Last foul was on Beitzel, his 3rd. Zone for Montana. Still 15 on the shot clock. Beitzel fouled on a drive, and Will Cherry has fouled out with 2 minutes to play. That is a huge blow for Wayne Tinkle and Montana.
Will Cherry just moving his feet. Not much contact there. Beitzel was kind of by him. He didn't knock Beitzel off of his driving line at all. And maybe the most important cog in the Montana Grizzlies offense, Will Cherry. He's the point guard. Not much they can go to, and they bring in Jordan Wood.
Short bench for Wayne Tinkle to work with tonight. Without Sean Stockton, Cherry has fouled out. Qualley, Ward, Selvig have 4 fouls apiece. 3 for Jordan Wood. And at the line, 2 shots for Beitzel as Northern Colorado has missed their last 6 free throws. Beitzel 7 of 9 from the line. Swishes the first one.
And Beitzel's the type of kid, he's the one that wants to be on the line for the rest of the game and take care of these opportunities and try to get these 4 seniors from the Northern Colorado Bears that have stuck together through so much adversity, 4-24 season in their freshman year, to get themselves to the big dance.
Big Sky MVP hits both as Northern Colorado has their largest lead of the night with 2 minutes to play. Cherry has fouled out. So now a lineup of Jordan Wood, Kareem Jamar, Art Stewart, Brian Qualley, and Derek Selvig.
And great job by B.J. Hill with the adjustment. With no point guard in there, Jordan Wood almost ran away from the pressure.
9-1 run for Northern Colorado.
Is Montana going to be able to get Qualley a touch?
Wood, a 3, short, rebound, Jamar in the lane, fouled by Proctor. 3rd on Proctor, 1:34 to play. Montana going to the line, Jamar for a 1-and-1. It is the 8th Northern Colorado team foul. Jamar 2 of 2 at the line, 7 points off the Montana bench.
Jamar only a 53%er on the year, though.
No good. Rebound. Proctor. 90 seconds to play. With the ball, Northern Colorado by 4.
No need to foul. Play the defensive possession out. Got to get a stop. It's only a 2-possession game. A lot of time left for the Grizzlies.
30-second timeout taken by Northern Colorado. Leaves them with a 30 and a full. Montana only has 1 30-second timeout remaining. Alternating possession arrow points toward Northern Colorado here.
So now if you're Northern Colorado, you play what's called time and score. 27 seconds on the shot clock. Let's run the clock down, and then let's get a set, maybe a high pick and roll for Beitzel to come off. You want your best player, best free throw shooter handling the rock, making the decisions.
Close games this year for both sides as there's your game reset. Montana 3-1 in games decided by 3 points or less. Northern Colorado's 5-4, and the Bears have won their last 4.
Including a 3-point victory last night in the semifinals against Northern Arizona that came down to a last-second shot by Cameron Jones.
A 3 from the right corner that just missed, that could have tied the game for the Lumberjacks and sent it to overtime. Saba to play it in here. Boyd in the backcourt. Lost the ball, got it back.
Interesting matchup here. Beitzel against the freshman, Kareem Jamar. Senior versus freshman.
He's face guarding. Beitzel trying not to let him get it. Beitzel gets it anyways. Forced back out. 10 to shoot. Nowhere to go. Finally finds Kingman, who drives in, lost the ball, stripped by Selvig. 3 on the shot clock. It'll be a Northern Colorado ball on the baseline.
Great job by Brian Qualley to shut off the drive of Beitzel and the shot coming off that pick and roll. Be careful, Beitzel coming off the staggers.
There he is. 3 from the corner. Got it! They may check the monitor here to see if it was a 3 or not. It's stop play here, 58.1 to go.
Look at the emotion of Devin Beitzel. He's so excited he can't believe it. Is he clutch or what? Did he want the ball in his hands? You gotta love the moxie of that young man.
And he has brought everyone to their feet. Jamar, pump fake, fires a 3. He got it! Timeout, Montana. 49.2 to play as Jamar hits the 3. 2 clutch 3s back-to-back.
Beitzel wanted that ball from the start. He was antsy. Look, he started to even go too early. Great setup, comes off tight. Someone has to switch out onto him. Jamar just didn't hustle to the corner, but Beitzel just wanted it ready to shoot, put the dagger, trying to put the dagger in the Grizzlies. And then Kareem Jamar, the Los Angeles native, with the pump fake, gets his feet set, splash down 3-pointer, big shot by the freshman.
You gotta throw out that LA love out there, huh?
Of course, man. We went to a powerhouse, one of our rivals. I mean, I went to Mater Dei, went to Westchester, but I mean, that was a clutch shot. Excellent job. But the defensive end is where they lost it. 3 seconds on the shot clock. You can't give Devin Beitzel a clean look at the rim like that.
How about the calmness of the freshman, Jamar, to pump fake, get Beitzel to fly by to create the shot, then he's able to stick it.
Yeah, actually a lot of poise he showed right there. He's played in some big games. I know in high school, obviously, this is a little bit different atmosphere being on the road. And look at the matchup. They're talking to each other right now about the 2 3-point shots that they just hit.
Ball comes in to Beitzel. Foul. Jordan Wood, his 4th. Beitzel to shoot 2. 47.2 to play. And Beitzel, 9 of 11 at the line tonight. 22 points. 9th straight game with 20 or more for the Northern Colorado senior.
In that situation, if you're going to foul, anybody but Devin Beitzel has to catch that ball. You can't let him get it. Then if he does, let's trap him first. Make him pass the ball without fouling.
91% on the year. One more coming.
History in the making here. 47 seconds away from their first ever conference tournament championship in Northern Colorado. First time ever going to the big dance, possibly 47 seconds away.
Beitzel hits both. 24 for Beitzel. Jamar to Qualley. Freshman in the corner, tough 3, got it! Montana's not done yet.
Oh, he almost got the steal. He felt it was clean.
3-point game, Northern Colorado going to the free throw line.
Kareem Jamar coming up big. They look kind of lost on the offensive end. Little turnaround jumper, hand up. Great arc, great lift. And then he doesn't give up on the play, he doesn't celebrate. He goes and tries to make a play, but Beitzel draws the foul once again.
Second foul on Jamar. Beitzel back to the stripe. Left the first one short. 11 of 14 from the line.
Now, worst case scenario, if they go up for a 2-possession game with Montana, with there being 33 seconds left, you could still go for a 2-pointer and get it down to a 2-point game and force Northern Colorado back on the line.
Here comes Jamar. 30 seconds to go. Underneath, Qualley gets the lay-in. 26 seconds to play.
Great execution. They didn't need the three. Great job passing the ball and finding the big fella.
Qualley's first field goal of the second half. Qualley with the finish inside. Finally, they find him in a position to score.
Yeah, he finally flashes to the ball, keeps the ball up high, gets it off quick before anyone can rotate to him, showing some of those soft hands that he has.
Jordan Wood fouling. He is fouled out now, the second Grizzly to be disqualified. Cherry also fouled out. As we take a look at Devin Beitzel, the Big Sky MVP, pulling this team in front. Well, Beitzel leading the charge.
Remember, he had a stretch where he scored 8 in a row in the first half to give him the lead. There's a nice step back three, but this was the shot. They were down 2, comes off the screen, gives them a 1-point lead, and here with the shot clock winding down, Mr. Clutch knocking down a dagger 3 for Northern Colorado.
2 shots, Elliott Lloyd to the line. 83% on the year, just 3 points tonight in his first trip to the stripe. Sophomore from Houston, Texas hits the first. This makes it a 2-possession game if he can get the second one to go also.
I still believe with 25 seconds left, 24.9, you can take another layup if you do it quickly enough, get it down to a 2-point game, foul again, and then see what happens from there.
Lloyd hits both.
Remember, no point guard in the game. Will Cherry has fouled out for Montana.
Long three from Selvig, short. Rebound, tip free inside, last touch by Northern Colorado. Montana ball, 16 seconds remain.
Now you need to take the first best look that you have available.
No timeouts for Montana. Ball comes in, Qualley by himself lays it in. Block called off the inbound. Chase Adams called for the block. Wayne Tinkle not happy, Miles.
Well, they get the ball in bounds. Beitzel goes right away. Chase Adams looked to be in great position. I don't think he could have done anything more than that but move his feet and take it to his chest. I think the referee anticipated that there was going to be a foul. Actually, Beitzel made a mistake. He didn't even need to put the ball on the floor. You want to square up and then just hold on to the ball tightly.
Knocks in the first. 13 of 16 at the stripe for Devin Beitzel tonight. Look at the free throw numbers, one-sided. Beitzel hits both. Here comes Stewart. Lost the ball, Kaba has it. Foul, Selvig is fouled out. 7.6 to play. Northern Colorado going to the line, up by 4. The fans at Greeley can sense it. The first trip to the NCAA tournament, 7.6 seconds away for the Bears. Montana led this 49-45 with 7 minutes to go. But then Northern Colorado went on a 12-1 run. And they're now trying to hold off the Grizzlies. Kaba at the line, he's 0 of 5 tonight. Make it 0 of 6.
Shocking. One of the best foul shooters on the team.
82% on the year coming in. He was 8 of 8 from the line tonight, or last night rather. It's the second. Here comes Adams. Leans into a 3, blocked by Kaba. Northern Colorado, for the first time in school history, they're going to the NCAA tournament.